Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Ansel Armstrong back again, and today we have a pretty interesting video, a little bit in our Market Monday series, as I'm kind of calling it. Last week, of course, we talked about the Player of the Month program and how you can invest into the Player of the Month program, make a lot of subs. I made a ton of subs, so I ended up investing 200K after I had bought a couple cards. I invested from 200K down to zero, and as you can see right now we're sitting at 252K, and that's including the fact that I spent 75K on a 50 bundle just last night. I pulled nothing, of course. Spent 75K on a 50 bundle, and I still have about 70 to 100K left in investments from outfielders that didn't pan out since we didn't get Jordan, but I got them at quick sell value, so I'm just holding on to them for now. So I made several 100,000 stubs, especially with some of those bronze guys jumped up quite a bit. I was picking them up at like 150 subs, first baseman and Brewers, and I sold them for like 400 a piece, and they even got up to 700-800 later, and I could have even made more subs. But still a huge dub either way. I hope all y'all were able to take advantage of that as well and make a ton of stubs. So we have some more speculation today. This one's going to be a lot more speculative than the Player of the Month. With Player of the Month, we kind of really know what we're getting. With what we're going to be talking about today, we aren't really too sure. So without further delay, let's hop into it. So if you've looked at the schedule recently, you will see that on the 19th, just a couple days away, we are getting a Father's Day, not conquest map, but program. It will include a conquest map. It'll include moments. How it's worded is that it is a Father's Day program, including moments and a conquest map with exclusive rewards. So I think it's safe to say we're going to get some sort of player reward from this. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just get equipment or a bat skin or some Father's Day socks or something. I think we're going to get a player from this as well, especially if they're having moments and conquest. That's quite a bit of content. I think they'd want to tie at least one player to the end of that. But of course, they may not. We don't have any idea. So again, I do want to give a quick little disclaimer here. What we're talking about here is very, very speculative. We're not grasping at straws. I think we feel pretty confident about the direction that FCS is taking with content this year, but certainly no guarantees in anything we're talking about today. However, that being said, I think if we get this Father's Day program, I think there's going to be players tied into it. And what does SDS love to put into programs? Exchanges. Pretty much every program has had an exchange. Player of the Month has exchanges. The inning programs have collections. Player of the Month programs have exchanges side of them. SDS loves exchanges. They're in their dailies. It's a way for them to get cards out of the market. And so I think with this Father's Day, we could get more exchanges. So the question is, how can you take advantage of that in terms of investing in the market? It's really similar to the Player of the Month cards, where you're able to invest in ahead of time. And when those exchanges drop, when the program drops, their price is going to shoot up through the roof from people buying up for exchanges. So then the real question is, can we potentially guesstimate who could be featured in a Father's Day program and invest appropriately and make a ton of stubs? Let's check it out. So I think when looking at the potential possibilities, there are a couple clear options and a couple sneaky options as well. I think the first one would obviously be Ken Griffey Sr. So as you can see, as we're looking at here, Ken Griffey Sr., he did get a 6 series card last year in MLB The Show 19. Loaded up 19 just to look at this card. It was a pretty solid card. I think the most important thing, though, is the 97 overall. With where we're at in the game, we're starting to get those high 90s overall players through our headliners, through our player programs. The next one's having 99s, just coming out a week after this Father's Day program. So I think a 97 overall card fits into the state of the game that we're currently at in terms of what kind of rewards we're looking at. And, of course, Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., I think, are by far the most famous father-son duo in Major League Baseball history. So my money is on a Ken Griffey Sr. 6 series or prime card, one of the two. They may throw in a Ken Griffey Jr. lower tier card as well, but since we already have the gold one and we already have the 91 overall Ken Griffey, the next one we probably get's gonna be his 99. So I don't think he would be featured in it. However, I feel somewhat halfway confident about a Ken Griffey Sr. SIG Series card. I think it would make a lot of sense, and it fit in with a Father's Day program, of course, being the most famous father-son duo in baseball history. So, of course, the question then becomes, how can you take advantage of that? If we do get Ken Griffey Sr., as we can see, we already have his 84 overall card, just like we had last year. So he's probably going to be due for his higher overall card at some point. As we come here and look through Reds cards, if there was an exchange, it'd probably be Reds and outfielders, I would assume. That's a pretty standard exchange process they've been going through. Whenever there's a player you're needing to exchange to, you can exchange that player's position and that player's team. Obviously, Ken Griffey Sr. would be on the Reds. So we have a Sonny Gray card here at quick sell value. We have Trevor Bauer pretty close to quick sell value. And again, a big thing, an important thing here we're looking at investing is not necessarily picking up the cards at a certain you don't have to get them all at quick sell value. It's about picking them up at a price that's normal for them. So Luis Castillo, he's selling at $17.50 buy now right now. That's a pretty standard price for him. He's been cheaper in the past, but $17.50 is a pretty standard price for him. Same with a guy like Trevor Bauer. We go and look at him. He's usually hovering a little bit above quick sell value. So again, not a bad pickup at all. And of course, Sonny Gray right at quick sell value. That's the type of card you're looking at. So I think from an investment standpoint, the Reds here at quick sell value are a pretty solid option. Same can be said about outfielders. We can't look at all outfielders at once, unfortunately. Left fielders, as we go here, Jordan's back down to 1,000 subs. We have Peralta, Brantley, Ozuna, Rosario, all that quick sell value. Same if we go to center fielder, there is a lot of outfielders here right around that quick sell value. So again, looking at potential exchanges, the Ken Griffey Sr. last year was a right fielder. So technically, if you wanted to play it extremely safe, you could just look at just right fielders in case they just do right fielders, but they'd probably do all outfielders if we have an exchange there. So outfielders, Reds, cards you could be looking at to stock up on. If you get them at good values, you can't lose anything. Again, if I'm picking up Nelson Cruz at 1,000 stubs, I pick him up at 1,000 stubs, and let's say nothing happens. We don't, you know, the reward for the Father's Day program is a bat skin, and his Nelson Cruz's price doesn't move. If I spend 30,000 stubs picking him up at 1,000 a piece, I can worst case scenario quick sell him and get my 30,000 subs back. I can't lose anything. Even more so with these silvers as well. You know, if you pick them up at their normal price, good things can happen. You're not going to lose too much, even if it's a little bit above the normal price. Worst case, you can also save for Team Affinity 3, which could be right around the corner. Now that we have what I think is the most obvious option out of the way with Ken Griffey Sr., and I think the most likely to happen, I feel sneaky good about it. I don't know why. It probably means no way it's going to happen, but I feel sneaky good about Ken Griffey Sr. Probably makes too much sense, honestly, at the end of the day. But there's a couple other options as well, so let's dive in and look at those. So the first one we're going to be looking at here, as you can see, we are looking at the Show Nation. If you go to your inventory, you will not see an 89 overall Dante Bichette as a card available in this game. However, on the Show Nation, he does pop up. So the question is, what is this Dante Bichette card? What is he doing? Where does he come from? How do we get him in the game? What's happening here? Tinfoil hat time could be part of a potential Father's Day program. Obviously, Dante Bichette played for the Rockies, been in the game several years, always gets pretty decent cards. And his son, Bo Bichette, a current young stud, future star for the Blue Jays. So could Dante Bichette and Bo Bichette be both included in some sort of Father's Day program when we get an 89 overall Dante Bichette and then maybe like a 95, 96 overall Bo Bichette future star card? I think that would be an awesome program, and I think one that has a lot of potential to come true as well. So again, when we're looking at investments for that, outfielders for Dante Bichette is what we want to look at. Also can be looking at Blue Jays as well. Ryu's right around that quick sell value, and they have a lot of really cheap silvers. I mean, Vladdy Jr. at 150, Bo Bichette himself at 145, Grichuk at 122. That's the thing about Blue Jays, if it does happen to be tied in with Bo Bichette or Dante Bichette. Blue Jays don't have a ton of options to pick up here. If you're trying to do the exchange quick, they don't have a lot of silver. So you're going to have to, you know, just buy out Gurriel and Guerrero and Bichette and Ryu and Giles and guys like that. Their price could skyrocket through the air. Same can be said about Rockies. Rockies have a little bit more to choose from. But again, Charlie Blackmon around quick sell, that's their only gold. And they only have 4 silvers. So, and then after that, it drops down quite a bit. So again, if it goes the Dante Bichette, Bo Bichette route, a lot of investment opportunities here with guys like Blackmon, Murphy, Marquez, Dahl, John Gray, things of that sort. I think at 89 overall would not be the end game reward for a player program where we're at in this point in time. So potentially the Blue Jays would be the better option of the two due to their lack of cards. And I think Bo would be the headliner. Bo Future Star would be the headliner of that. Would be a really good card, and a lot of people would be wanting to go in and do the exchanges to get him as quickly as possible. So a third option potentially, and I think this one really, really unlikely to happen, but you never know, and that would be Sandy Alomar and Roberto Alomar. To our knowledge, Sandy Alomar not in the game, so it's unlikely they'd be featured in any programs. And he wouldn't be able to obtain a super crazy good card. And Roberto Alomar, his next card, as he already has the 91, probably going to be his 99 overall Prime 6 Series award, whatever it's going to be. And that'll probably be, you know, that's your inning boss, your World Series award, your 12-0, something like that. Something super high level for him. So I don't imagine us being able to get a mid-90 overall card from that group. But again, another thing to think about. Our last investment opportunity here is our wild card, so to speak. And our wild card, if you know, it worked out real well last time. Our wild card from last week's Player of the Month video was Mike Zunino. Not a whole lot of investment went into catchers, and you saw guys like Grandal get up to 7,500 subs a piece, and you could have bought them at 1,000 subs all day long when that video dropped leading up until the Thursday of it. I wish I would have done that more so than I did. But Zunino was our wild card last week. That paid out. He ended up being the first one. So our wild card this week, it's a real big wild card. It's a shot in the dark. It's a bit of a stretch. It's Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder. Now, is it likely to be Cecil or Prince? No. But if we look here from this tweet from Atron, he is revealing a diamond on June 17th, just 2 days before the Father's Day program drops. And we really want to go tinfoil hat time. In the past, he also revealed the Brewers Team Affinity cards. So could he potentially be revealing a new Brewer on the 17th, featured in the Father's Day program, with that Brewer being none other than Prince Fielder? Again, it's highly unlikely and it's super speculative, but I think there's at least an outside shot that it happens. I'm not sure how the rights for Prince Fielder work out, since he's technically not retired and still under contract from the Texas Rangers. They're still paying his contract. They're still paying his salary. I would assume because of that, he's probably still part of the Players Association. So this entire time, they may have had Prince's rights and they just haven't been using them since he hasn't actually been playing baseball. So maybe they have Prince's rights and they picked up Cecil rights this year, and we're going to get a Cecil and Prince kind of program there. I think that would be a really awesome program. I also think Cecil and Prince are probably the second most famous father-son duo in baseball, behind King Griffey Sr. and King Griffey Jr. in terms of both of them being very good baseball players. They never got to play at the same time, but we all saw the videos of Prince growing up as a kid with his dad up at the stadium, hitting dingers at like 5 years old. So I think it could be a really cool program. For investment opportunities, again, for Prince and Cecil, they could use all the teams they've been on, since they've both been on multiple teams. So Prince could be Brewers, Tigers, and Rangers. And then Cecil could obviously be Toronto, Angels, and the Tigers as well. And I think he had a couple more little stops at a couple other places as well. He didn't play long at Anaheim either, kind of looking at it here. But since they both played on Detroit, they could both get Tigers cards. It could be a Tigers-based exchange. And as we can see here, the Tigers are another team with not a whole lot of cards to choose from. So if there happens to be a Tigers exchange, these guys are going to shoot up through the roof. Of course, it could also be a first baseman exchange. But first baseman already still really high. As you can see, Miggy still at 449 from his necessity to be exchanged in the Player of the Month program. He's still really high. Same with catchers as well. But guys like Boyd or Scope, CJ Cron's still high. So these Tigers are already still pretty high. There's a lot of opportunities to come in here and pick up some of these guys that aren't really high. And if they're needed in exchange, they could blow up in price. Again, I think this one's super unlikely. This is our real shot in the dark. Throwing a blind dart at the wall. Maybe it'll hit the bullseye here with Cecil and Prince. But I don't think it's without the realm of possibilities. That being said, again, I think the King Griffey Sr., King Griffey Jr., King Griffey Sr. 6 series type card, 96, 97 overall. That's our most likely bet. I feel sneaky good about it. I'm not sure why, but I feel sneaky good about that. So I'm going to be investing in some Reds players. I already have some investments in outfields from Player of the Month. So I'm just going to be holding on to those. If they're needed, then that's great. If not, then I'm going to be investing in some Reds players as well for that program to potentially drop and potentially infect the market a ton. Especially even more so than it does with Player of the Month. With Player of the Month, we kind of understand what's coming. We know what's coming. There's a lot of pre-investments, even for people who don't watch these videos. But with something like this, something kind of new and that we don't know what to expect from, I think there could be less investments beforehand, causing prices to increase tenfold, even more so than usual. So I think a lot of fun, interesting opportunities out there. If you're wanting to take a risk, it is a huge risk. It is a huge risk. So if you drop 200K and you lose it all, don't blame me. But I'm going to be spending some subs. I'm going to be investing in some of these guys. Definitely a risk, but I think a risk worth taking if you get them at good prices. You can't really lose out at the end of the day. So that is going to do it all for today's video. A pretty interesting video. A lot of speculation going on, a lot of speculative talk, but I think a lot of potential to make some stubs if some of these speculations come true and we end up being right about any of them. If you invested in there, there's going to be some big changes in the market. Of course, could end up being nothing. Could end up being, you do your conquest, you do your moments, and you get a bat skin. One other thing to note, should have mentioned this earlier in the video, is that worst case scenario, absolute bare minimum. Definitely be paying close attention to the market come Friday when the new conquest maps drops. Whenever those conquest maps drop, we usually get some sort of hidden packs outside of show packs, whether it's a ball on pack or a headline or whatever, that have those increased odds at cards like silvers and golds. So what's going to happen then, of course, is that those prices are going to drastically drop. You're going to see golds that we're selling for 1,500, 1,600 go down to quick sell value. So again, whether you're looking to pick them up and flip or looking to pick them up to invest, to hold on for Team Affinity Stage 3, I think those are both decent options as well. So definitely be paying close attention to the market come Friday, both for a potential exchange and when we know we're getting a conquest map. We know that for sure. That's definitely going to have an impact on the market, driving prices down depending on the packs that are in there. So definitely be paying close attention to that and be able to, capitalize on that. Keep your eyes on the market and capitalize on that when you can. But it's going to do it for today's video, though. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about a potential Father's Day program? Do you think we could be getting some player rewards? Could there be exchanges? And are you going to be investing any stubs of yourself? As always, though, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. The support means a ton for me and the channel. Again, at 5,000 subscribers, we are hitting our 12-hour flipping challenge. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so. We are getting ever close to 5,000 subscribers, and I'm excited for the 12-hour flipping challenge. I'm going to be stockpiling some stubs beforehand. It's going to be a great time. I'm super stoked about it. But until next time, I'll see y'all later.